everyone. Welcome to Strip Club. This Strip Club project is called Pirouette. Do you like it?
Yes.
Yes, I really like it too. We have featured a smaller size here for once because it's December and we're all focused on Christmas stuff, but that doesn't mean we can't do other projects. So we've enticed you with a little bit of a smaller version. It starts here with brown strips. In addition to the brown strips, sort of the tone-on-tone browns here, we also have a background fabric, and then we have an accent fabric. Do you see the accent here?
Green.
The accent is green. There's no green in the strips, but there is in the border. There's the brown with the paisley, and there's a touch of green in here. So when we picked our accent fabric, we pulled it to pull from the green that's already in the border, so the whole quilt pulls together. See how that works? The block is actually very easy to make, and this could be a very quick presentation. Let me show you the block. Do you see it?
Wow.
That is your block. One block twisted and turned. The block is made of quadrants. There are 4 quadrants, hence quadrants. Quadrants, quad, 4. All right, yeah, I'll work on that, Joe. Okay, this is one quadrant, and this is the second quadrant. To sew your first quadrant together, quadrant A, you will first, when you cut your strips, you'll sew strips together, and we have you cut the strips in half so that you can have more variety in your piecework. So we'll sew 2 strips together and then cut those into 2.5-inch segments. Two strips, segments, right? Make a bunch of those, and then do the same with a print strip and a background fabric. Okay, now you're gonna make a 4 patch. Okay, quadrant A. Make a bunch of those. Pattern will tell you how many. The pattern is written for multiple sizes, which, by the way, the pattern is available at your local quilt shop. And since we are your local quilt shop, you have the pattern. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different sizes, including table runner, baby, lap, throw, twin, queen, and king. So, as in most of our patterns, we write for multiple sizes, many of them the standard bed sizes if we can, if the pattern will allow it. That's so that you can be enticed to make the quilt size that you want. And so you don't go up to our counter and say, well, how do I make it bigger and how do I make it smaller? It's so much easier to do the math all at once. So I give you all the sizes. That's why almost all of our patterns have multiple sizes. And there's usually one size in there that's very complimentary for 40 strips. 40 strips because most strip bundles are 40 strips. And so if you have one size, you know that one bundle will make that size. In this case, the size that's very handy for 40-inch strip or 40 strip bundles is the twin, and it calls for 35. That means 5 strips out of a bundle you don't have to use, or you can put them aside for binding. Or the table runner. Well done. Table runner takes 5 strips, so 35 plus 5 is 40. There's your bundle. 2 quilts. 2 out of 1. Quadrant A. Now let's do quadrant B. Quadrant B is simply a large square, and on the corner we will sew an accent square, which we've drawn a diagonal line. And then we stitch on that diagonal line, flip the fabric over to the corner, make sure it goes to the point, cut away the excess fabric behind it, and you get an accent in one of the corners. You follow that? You don't want to draw the lines. There's you get the name right. Folded corner clipper is one of our favorite gadgets that helps you so you do not have to draw all the lines. And that's not just for the accent, because we're going to use the same technique on 2 print squares, 1 in each corner, same technique. Stitch on a diagonal line, fold to the corner, flip over. It'll look a little like this. And as you flip them over, it'll look like that. And there is quadrant B. win this fight. I have sharp objects. Wow. I guess I will not win that fight. There we go. It just took a gentler hand. And now we will add another quadrant, A, and then a completed quadrant, B, as so, to create our block.
Yeah, brilliant.
Beautiful. So as you can see, it is one block that's twisted and turned. The accent triangles will come together to create the square here. And then to me, it looks like the blocks are on tippy toe. That's why I named it pirouette. Do you see it? Like it's spinning? Yeah. Straight set, although it looks more complicated than it really is. A little tip, when you're sewing these 4 patches together, you might want to square them up because not all strip sets are exactly 2.5 inches. They're kind of close. But if you square them up, you'll have a better chance of being successful. So it's one block, twisted and turned, add border 1, border 2, and border 3. In our case, the border 1 is the same color as the background. Border 2 is the same color as the accent. To me, the border 1 frames the design, the piecework. The border 2 pulls that accent fabric into the border, and then border 3 complements the whole thing. Really like the colors that we've put together here. Love the browns, very rich. Something else I was going to tell you about that. Okay, when you pick your strips and you have your background fabric, make sure your background fabric has strong contrast to your strips. That defines the pattern. That is what gives the whole quilt shape. The reason I say this is when we started, Sweet Maureen made all the blocks and said, I'm not sure you're going to like it. I want to show you what we created the first time. Okay.
Nope.
So nope. Did I hear a nope? Did I hear a ooh? It's not bad. It's just not as good, right? And the reason is, and do you like seeing our mistakes?
Yes.
The reason is this fabric, although lovely, it's mushy compared to some of the other prints that are already in the strip set. It's a beautiful collection to go with the colors. It's perfect. It's a great complement. But when these fabrics start to play with each other, you lose the whole pattern. And in fact, in my opinion, what you see is this piece, this background piece, come to the foreground, and the piecework and the prints go to the background. So it's a completely different looking quilt. It'd be wonderful if it was like a signature quilt. You put a signature right across there, right? But for the design we wanted to create, which is we wanted the prints to shine and the background to be the canvas, it was the wrong fabric. What do you think? Do you agree?
Yep.
Okay. So now you can see why, when I say that a background needs contrast to the strips, that's what I'm talking about. It needs a strong contrast. Now, if there are a couple of print strips that match the background fabric, that's okay. Here and there is okay. There's just too much of it in this. If you do have some print strips that are very similar to your background fabric, same value, place them strategically in the middle. In other words, when you sew 2 strips together, make sure they're in that strip set. Do you follow me? If you have one fabric that's very similar to the background, put it in this piecework and cut out your 2.5 inch segments. And then twist and turn them so they always go to the corner, and then they'll go with other like fabrics and they'll never touch the background fabric, and so they won't be so blurry, so murky. Follow? That's your tip for the day. It is a good tip, thanks. Okay, pirouette, strips. This actually is the, we call it the throw size, and it only uses 15 strips. So actually here in the store we have bundles of 20 strips. So if you'd like to make a smaller size, we have smaller bundles for you. Petite bundles, as it were. Would make a petite pirouette. This is, so we talked about the browns, we talked about the green, and as you know, you never have to use the fabrics that we show you in the quilts. You can always use your own fabrics. Would you like to see one in a different fabric combination?
Oh, yes. Oh. Purple.
This is the back. You guys are oohing and eyeing already. This is just the back. Let's talk a minute about backing. You put so much work into the front. It's nice to have nice fabric on the back, isn't it?
Yep.
Okay. I do believe we have more of this fabric, yes.
You can't tell.
Yeah, you gotta teach her to rotate, Lonnie.
She's doing good.
What do you think?
Very, very pretty. Which,
So this Valley Pop, I believe is rum raisin.
If anybody's in the band,
I can tell you for sure
parking,
because
15-minute parking.
handily it's right here. It's plum pudding.
So,
That's so
they're
perfect for
gonna
this
tow.
time of year. Plum pudding. And we found a fabric, a border fabric that had the same relative colors and a splash of blue. And it's that blue that we used as the accent fabric. I'm going to hold up the bundle again, and you'll see there's very little, there's a hint of it, but there's very little blue in the bundle. And it's that sharp blue that gives it the contrast that makes that accent pop. And then nicely it goes in straight into the borders. You like it? That's a good question. This size is a lap. No. Yeah. 4 by 5. The one is a throw, 4 by 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is 4 by 5. Probably looks better this way, right? Okay.
Should I go up?
Are we taking pictures? Okay, do I have to pirouette my own self?
Here comes Lonnie.
Well, I'm going to need you in a moment because we have a very special treat. Not only do we have one other sample, we have a third sample to show you.
whoa.
Jan, who made this sample for us, loved the pattern so much that after she made her sample, she made one for herself. Not only did she make another sample in a week, so that's 2 samples, the second one she made is a queen size.
Oh, wow.
She had been collecting these fabrics for a special quilt, and when she saw this pattern, she's like, that's the quilt, which just warms my cockles.
Where are they?
I haven't seen it my own self, so this is going to be exciting for me too. May I have another tall person volunteer to hold? Because as it is a queen, oh, thank you, another kind sir. Yeah, you're good.
Thank you, Lonnie.
All right.
Did you get your picture?
Yay for our guys.
All right, gentlemen, you need to be front and center. I need to put little markings on the ground.
Yeah.
Like Jay Leno has, you know. Wow. Those are, where did you get the strips, Jan?
From Paradise when they were going out of business.
So are they pre-cut strips, but you don't remember who's?
Right, and I don't remember the people, and the border fabric I think is in the bag. It's just a matter of how big the borders.
Okay, so we don't have the border fabric on. To me, it looked complete. It looks beautiful the way that it is, but there's another border coming. The strips themselves come from a pre-cut strip bundle of unknown origin. And then a lot of other fabrics from your stash. You supplemented with your own fabrics to come up with it. And the strip club projects are a great way to supplement with your own stash. Once you have a color combination and you know you need more strips, you can easily just pull some fabrics, cut a couple of 2.5-inch strips and add to your stash. In fact, you don't have to start with the pre-cut bundle. You can start with your stash. Oh, it is just gorgeous, Jan. It is so beautiful. Yes, lovely. That
Nice job, Jen.
just excellent. Yeah, absolutely beautiful. So pleased to see this. And you see how that accent pops out? And then she's complemented again with this second border, and she'll have another border yet to be determined. Excellent, excellent. Love it. Do you love it? Yes. Are you inspired now?
Can
Are
somebody
you-
grab the camera that's down below and
Are you going to go home and make it? Yes, yes, yes. Everyone said yes, right?
Not this week.
Not this week.
January.
You've got your Zoom
All
on.
right,
Is
do
it
we have
Zoom
any
back?
questions? Have I covered everything? There's no questions? Nothing. It's too easy? It's that easy.
Yeah.
It is that easy.
It's, well, no, I didn't get those.
Well, if we have no more questions, thank you guys for coming, and come back next month. We'll do another strip club.